From Barangaroo Studios, the ausbiz COB is the key stuff you need to know about the day in business and finance.
Good afternoon, welcome to the COB. My name's Carl Rodder. I'm with Danny Akuye. And Danny, another busy day of earnings. Let's see where we've actually closed, shall we?
Yeah, so I've got the ASX 200 up almost 20 points, woohoo! Or 0.2%, almost 0.3%. So 7,357. SIBO 200, 2 points, 0.15%.
Edging higher throughout the day, and well, it's going to be a very big night. But let's we'll wait to get there. Let's go through just some of the areas that did move the market, starting with energy. Huge rally actually in energy prices, energy stocks up collectively about 2%, and well, some risks of supply disruptions again, I believe. Driving a lot of that.
Absolutely. Some, I think, Woodside workers and also Santos threatening, I think, to go out on strike. And there was a big rally in gas prices over in Europe overnight, up 40%, although someone was suggesting when I did some research that it was a bit of short covering going on as well. But nevertheless, we're seeing it translated, as you said, across the board. Santos, Woodside and Beach Energy, all very strong today.
Absolutely. What didn't perform too well was the tech sector. Xero seems to have lost a lot of momentum, so it's down by 3.78% today. But some of those other names as well also coming under pressure. Technology One, Altium, as you can see, Block up a fraction, but that's just bouncing off, well, after what was about 15-20% drop after its earnings. So not probably much you can take from that. Checking in on the banks as well, just because we do in the aftermath of CBA's results, and it's down a fraction, 0.5% or so, still higher than where it was prior to its results. Otherwise, fairly mixed, if not slightly negative. Macquarie and Westpac both eking out a, well, 0.1% gain, we'll call it. And well, let's get across some of the earnings of the day. We're gonna pepper through these. QBE Insurance, first of all, net profit after tax, $400 million. Average renewal premium rate increased to 10.2%. And of course, as we're all mostly concerned when it comes to a company like QBE, what's the dividend? 14 cents.
Yeah, and the market really, I mean, I suppose there was a lot in this share price. It's rallied quite hard. So it was trading off about 1.2% today, or 19 cents to $15.41. And obviously AGL, they also had their results out, a statutory loss of 1.26 billion. However, underlying profit, I think pretty much in line, of $281 million, revenues up 7.1%, underlying EBITDA 1.36 billion, and a final dividend of 23 cents per share. And I think the market, no, it did like it and then it didn't like it. So it sent it down around 3%, 36 cents to $11.22.
There you go. Okay, AMP, a result that was largely welcomed by investors. The dividend only very modest, 2.5 cents effectively. Net interest margin up 7 basis points. That has been the theme lately, of course. Underlying net profit after tax of $57 million. And well, the high flyer for the day, Boral, one of them anyway.
Boral
a big jump in revenues, higher than expected. Same goes in terms of profitability and earnings, and also reaffirmed guidance, which was for around $270 to $300 million, if my memory serves me well, for FY24. Also spoke up, maybe some of the strength of, well, sort of a recovery in housing and things of that nature to come.
Yeah, no, I didn't catch that. I think they've been doing a lot of cost cutting, but yeah, up by about 8.5% today. So shareholders will be happy little campers. It follows in the lines of what James Hardie also achieved.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and well, looking at the Arena REIT, and I had the good fortune of having a chat with the CEO today. Net profit after tax, $74 million. That was down 78%. Of course, a lot of that was to do with financing costs, interest rates rising so aggressively throughout the financial year. However, did manage to increase its distribution per share by 5%. That was to 16.8 cents. And it says it remains on track next year to increase the distribution to 17.4 cents. So that was its guidance there. I don't think it was necessarily treated too favourably by investors, but certainly,
it was nothing. It was lower. Yeah, fraction lower.
And in fact, we can get a check on where those share prices traded towards the end of the day. Arena just ignore, well, actually, maybe it has come basically flat for the day. But some of those other names there, AGL down 3.12%, AMP jumped 4%, Boral up by 8.6, QBE down by 1.6. So some of the big names that we did follow today, that's the price reaction to the earnings. But there was another company that reported today.
Absolutely,
Downer
EDI, and we didn't want to have a downer, but we did.
Oh.
Sorry, very bad joke. Grady Ruff and Wolf, of Bell Direct, and Michael Gable from Fairmont Equities joined me on the call today and discussed how they saw the Downer EDI results.
There will always be a need for their services, but understanding that there is so much competition in the market now, we need to look at that and say this company is in restructure mode or strategy mode, and they've got a new CEO as of the start of this year, and he has even said that they're resetting operating model in Australia and New Zealand to reduce the cost base. They're also focusing on improving margins and simplifying the portfolio. So again, that all says to me a strategic review in a somewhat nice way. So FY24 and FY25 will be interesting, but it's just a hold at the moment because it is a very strong company and their services are needed.
It was just basically at the wrong part of the cycle in terms of demand for their products, and if you could foresee that that would pick up, that was a contrarian opportunity. I don't really see that with Downer because there's a lot going on under the bonnet that they really need to fix. So I think it's too early to be involved. And for me, look, I'd even have it as a sell just to put that money into something a bit more, yeah.
So that was kind of like a nut.
Yeah, it was a nut. Yeah, a bit of a downer.
A little bit of a downer there for Downer EDI. Again, did report today, so maybe not the time to buy that stock. Let's get a bit of a look now at what we've got coming up. Oh, here we go, the leaders and laggards. Lake Resources, and for me, what was an inexplicable bounce in the share price. I guess with a 20-cent stock, maybe it's just a sort of a, I don't know.
They had a presentation at an international conference on lithium, which may have been the catalyst to spark that rally that we have seen today. But, you know, let's face it, this one has been a roller coaster ride for investors. No other way to put it.
Yeah, it's been belted over the last few weeks.
Yeah,
so it was
they've had so many
disruptions
problems.
At a major mine, wasn't it?
No, they've delayed it. They've pushed out the production, I think, at Lilac, which is, you know, yeah. So, yes, I'm just having a look. Keep going.
Yeah, no worries. Boral, we've already gone through the results there, up 8.6% for the day. Paladin Energy, uranium prices are picking up again. I suppose it's that broader energy theme, but we're going to need nuclear in the energy mix. Danny, what do you reckon?
I don't know. I mean, if we're going to get nuclear in this country, knock me over with a feather. But anyway, it's just such long lead times. Yeah. That's the thing I'm always staggered by. Like, to build nuclear plants takes a long time. I know there's the small nuclear reactors, but, you know, yeah, I don't have any strong views one way or the other. No, except Australia. I mean, it's really hard to see. Imagine all the kerfuffle over, you know, nuclear subs, let alone a plant.
Yeah.
NIMBYs.
We got a lot of space. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
A lot of space to put the waste.
Yeah, I don't want to pretend that I know anything about the engineering behind this.
I think you're either a believer or you're not when it comes to
it's divisive
nuclear.
Though, isn't it?
Very divisive.
The rationale seems really, really strong in the sense where, I just quote my energy trader mate who says he just doesn't seem to believe renewables will be able to provide baseline power in the future, and if you don't want gas or coal, you know, you might just have to bite the bullet, even if though, you know, it's a 10 or 15 year investment. Well,
let's face it, nuclear energy is used across the world. It's not like it's not used. Yeah. It's just never been an option here in Australia. Yeah. But they're big, you know, nuclear plants in Europe and also in the US, and, you know, clearly the Japanese disaster is what has tainted everything. Yeah. But, you know, lead times, that's the problem, lead times. Yeah. But let's look at the laggards, and we've discussed Downer EDI, zero, maybe some profit taking going on there. AGL clearly just missed the beat there. Rio Tinto's gone ex-dividend today, and corporate travel, I actually don't know.
No, neither do I. But nevertheless, well articulated. Let's have a look at the small caps, shall we? And there we go. Boral and Coal, 30%.
Cettire hasn't come up on any of these. We just need to touch on Cettire.
We need to fix that, yeah.
Because that was
up. It was up 22% when I last checked.
Yeah.
I didn't go through them.
Up 12%. Ended up 12%.
Right.
So I think they did have their results today. They had some pretty chunky growth, but just worth highlighting that was one of the strong price performers today, albeit it's come off that 22% rally.
Yeah, I know we were talking at the desk, but I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, and the whole notion behind that business from the business's point of view is that we sell expensive luxury goods or facilitate the selling of expensive luxury goods to a booming Chinese market, ergo, we're going to grow. But whatever it is, it was a good result today. There we go, COB, laggards in the small cap space, Newfield Resources, Dacian Gold, Fluence, Iris Metals, American West Metals. I can't see any rhyme or reason for that, to be honest, but let's push on. And it's going to be a big night.
Oh, gosh, 10:30. Everybody get their
alarms out.
Alarms out, ready to go. Not me.
Set.
I'm going to be asleep.
Yeah, I can imagine I'll cark it by then too.
Yeah. Anyway, US CPI numbers. What are we looking for? Around 4.1% in core inflation?
Core, I believe it's 4.8, which is in line with last month.
4.8, is it?
Year over year.
And a little bit of a tick up in
the headline, which is a bit of an energy base effect thing. So 3.3.
Yeah.
I get the sense that maybe everyone's going to look at that core, a month-on-month cores figure.
Yep.
Because that's 0.2% forecast, and that gives you a bit of a sense for the inflation pulse. So if that comes in low, maybe that'll sort of keep everyone on the whole.
Yep.
We're done with rate hikes camp. If not, maybe there's some upside risk there to rates, downside risk there to equities. We'll see. US jobless claims also might be interesting.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know if we've had Barber out yet.
Don't look at me. Bar.
They don't necessarily tell us when they'll drop their results. They give us a window, so I don't know if that's happened today yet, but they are slated to report on Wall Street at some point, perhaps tonight. Okay, let's get one final look at what's ahead tomorrow, because it'll just give you a rundown of the stocks that we'll be keeping an eye on. There's going to be a stack of them: Newcrest Mining, REA Group, Viva Energy, Nick Scali.
Yep.
So a handful there that'll really sort of cap off the week.
Is that Baby Bunting?
Yes.
And Challenger.
And Challenger. So in Japan, it's Mountain Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about taking the day
Scale
off
a
for Mountain Day. Yeah, go up, walk a mountain, metaphorical or literal. I digress. Let's wrap things up.
Indeed. Oh, sorry. Yes, but quickly have a look. SIBO 200 up 2.27 points, 0.16%. And the ASX 200, I'll have to quickly jump back on again and have a quick peek and see how we finished there. Looks like it was up also by about, again, 19 points, 0.26%. So there we go. Quite positive into the close ahead of that US CPI. And of course, it's Friday tomorrow.
As you can probably tell, and as you can probably tell too, absolutely gassed out. But that's because we've had a fantastic batch of content today. So
we have indeed. I've spoken to someone in Dubai and mainland China.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 new firsts. So there we go.
You just have a taste for totalitarianism or something like that.
No.
The analysts were fantastic.
They were fantastic, weren't they? Really worth listening to. So
yeah, definitely. So catch up on that website and app. Otherwise, have a great evening, and we'll see you bright and early Friday morning.